So, Night Elf versus Human coming up in JohnnyCage versus Please. We're currently waiting for JohnnyCage and for Lado to join us. But in the meantime, we can take a look at the patch notes for this matchup, as the Human arcane towers have been buffed from 20 to 25. This might help them against Beastmaster or Treants in the process. For Night Elf, here's of course the problem of Wisp detonates being cut in half, Bears get a little buff, and Chimera friendly fire remove. This might actually come into play in the late game here when there's Bears versus Knights and you have a couple of Chimeras here, so that could be pretty nice. And of course the items once again, the 4/4 items are now 5/5 and Claws of Attack +6 is +5 as well. So hopefully we're going to have Lado on the line in a second. And then we discuss this. So what this matchup usually is very tier 3 heavy, very expansion heavy. And then it's like Knights, Inner Fire, Rifles, Mortars, something. Versus Mountain Giants, Bears, a couple of Dryads. And then how will the Wisp detonates influence the caster army of the Human? That's going to be interesting. Is Clap still too strong? Against Bears especially, so you're forced into Mountain Giants? And how will it go? What are your prediction, guys? That is the question. Yeah, Wisp... the Wisp nerf will definitely affect us. In all the Night Elf matchups, probably. Please is the Night Elf, right? Yep, that is true. JohnnyCage is the Human, of course. Okay, Lado's ready. Let's get him on the line. And all right, wait a second. Oh, we have another little guest right here, as it is...
I gotta fix my camera, man. I haven't streamed in a while.
You're getting active again, mate. Playing the tournaments, casting again. I love it.
This will be fun. I saw, man, JohnnyCage and Please. This is actually really cool. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
All right. So, are you in the game? Then game has already started. Are you in?
Yep.
Ah,
game
wonderful.
Has started, and I am in.
Wonderful.
Right. Can you hear me okay? Am I using the right microphone?
Yeah, I think so. You sound good to me.
Nice.
Okay. So we discussed the changes briefly. What's your opinion on the Human versus Night Elf matchup in the new patch?
Human versus Night Elf?
Yes.
I think it's going to be rough. I think it's going to be very rough for Night Elf. The main thing, I know everyone has talked about it a million times over, but the Wisp detonate is just going to be huge. Being able to detonate the Human casters has always been a staple of the Night Elf Human matchup, and not being able to do that, well, we even saw it in the last matchup. I didn't watch the entire series, but when I saw those detonates, I was like, they did nothing to the heroes in terms of the mana drain. So, and the casters are going to be the same thing. And my guess is we're going to see that. Like, Please will bring Wisps to fights, and it still will detonate. You know, if it ends up being like a tier 3 Human, it's still going to detonate the Inner Fire, which is good. It's still going to detonate the Water Elementals, which is good. But really, like, draining the Priest mana is like it's just really important, and draining like the Mountain King mana is super duper important. And you kind of count on that when you're playing this matchup, and to no longer have that like weapon in your arsenal is really limiting. You know, I was actually thinking about the Wisp detonate, and I was trying to think of like a unit that you could compare it to that would be similar. And I actually think that a Priest on the Human side is kind of comparable, right? Because it has like a dispel, it's a support unit. Of course, it costs like a little bit more, costs about double. But imagine if, for example, the Priest healing was reduced by 50%.
Oh my god, there would be so many tiers.
Right? And I actually think that is a comparable nerf to the Wisp detonate. I really do. I understand that lower levels, like newer players, are still kind of learning how to use Wisp detonates and like when to bring wisps into fight, and you do have to have like a decent game sense to understand, you know, when to have those wisps with you, and when you have to have a good understanding of like your wood economy for when you're able to detonate wisps or when you need to produce more. Like that takes a lot of time to learn. But at these top level games, everyone uses them. You have to, just because it gives you an edge in those fights. And really, the only unit that I can think of that's kind of comparable is a priest. And you know, the effectiveness of the wisp was reduced by 50%. So let's reduce the effectiveness of the priest by 50%, you know, and see what happens.
Yeah, we should probably nerf anything by 50%, is my opinion on the matter. But yeah, especially with an archmage around, right? Like with a Brilliance Aura level 2, how long does it take to restore the 25 mana? It's going to be back in no time.
Seconds or something. I don't even know. That's probably close to about 10 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know.
But this game, we're seeing Warden. Warden is cool. And we see Archer, no Hunter's Hall, double AOW. So really just going to... Please is just banking on this Warden to do a ton of damage early. It's almost like he expected JohnnyCage to do a fast expand, which I think is a pretty good assumption on this map. But he went over, crept it. JohnnyCage saw the Warden, and he decided, okay, I'm just going to tech. Because human can do whatever they want against Night Elf, and it's still good. You can either expo, or you can tech, and both are very, very strong. So, no bias, guys. No,
not at all. Not at all. Not from you. But yeah, not the greatest start for Please's Warden. I think he's also not the most impressive Warden player that I know. Definitely like a tier or two behind Foggy on the European servers. So I like the opening for JohnnyCage as well. But of course, having you on the broadcast, Lado, the biggest question is, are you satisfied with the bear buff?
Another thing I wanted to say, so many people, you know, it's funny whenever people talk about the bears, for whatever reason, I've become like a spokesperson.
Yeah, you are Papa Bear.
Apparently. But one thing that people keep neglecting is that the nerf they got in 1.28 was -4 to both the min and the max damage. It wasn't just the min. And the buffs that they're giving are just to the minimum damage. So it's effectively still just half of a point of damage. Every time they do +1, it's not one full point of damage, it's a half a point. Because it's not buffing the max, it's only buffing the min, right? Because if it, for example, if you have a unit that does, you know, 1 to 2 damage, right? The average is going to be 1.5. If you buff one of those numbers, it goes up to 1 to 3. The average is going to be 2, right? The difference between 1.5 and 2 is 0.5. So the effective damage increase is still only 0.5, which is not that much. I know people are going to laugh like, ha ha ha, Lotto's saying bears are too weak again. But still, like, you know, when we played this game for 8 years in 1.28, those bears were 4 damage stronger. So like these 0.5 damage nerfs, it's almost like they're just trying to appease the the bear complainers.
Yeah, I think they're in a decent spot at the moment. They were definitely a little too strong in 1.28, and of course they add a lot to the army that it's not just damage but raw and redo, so they're a very versatile unit, and they must have some weaknesses, which of course is their survivability as well. But I don't know. I think having to have a mix between mountain giants and bears is kind of nice, even though it's really expensive.
Yeah. I still like bears. I think bears are actually good units. I think they needed a damage buff. Toxie is actually saying it's not true. Base damage is the damage you add to the RNG dices. But it's still adding to the min, right? It's adding to the min damage, not the max. Or am I wrong? Or is it the average damage? I might be wrong. I don't even know.
We have to look it up in the world editor. I don't really know how they did the change, but Toxie is usually right when it's about numbers.
Yeah, I believe him.
Mr. PhD.
Oh, this is bad.
Yep, the numbers on the HP bar for the Warden are not that great anymore.
So, speaking of the Warden, still level 2. We're about 9 minutes into this game. I don't have a clock, but my guess is we're somewhere around maybe 8 minutes.
7 minutes 10 at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. This Warden is still level 2. That is a problem.
Yeah,
I was actually... Yeah, I was going to comment on this. Him going to harass at level 2 was a direct counter to trying to stop the fast expand. And the fact that JohnnyCage just didn't fast expand, basically what happened there is Please used all of his mana, damaging the peasants of JohnnyCage. I'm not even sure if he got one kill. He may have killed one peasant.
So. Yeah.
But it's not like using all of your mana and all of your life from your level 2 hero, and then having to get out, not worth it at all. So really bad opening from Please, and we're kind of seeing him pay for it in this tier 2 phase of the game now.
Not even forcing the town portal here. It's not getting much better. We also saw the next detonate, and yeah, barely noticeable, I think. That was mostly against the Water Elemental, though. We haven't talked about the Arcane Tower yet, so +5 to summon units.
Yeah.
What do you think?
As far as like things that didn't need a buff, it was like Arcane Tower and Nerubian Tower are both already incredibly strong. Like, who the hell came up with an idea to buff the Arcane Tower? I actually think like Human has some weak units that if you want to buff Human, sure, buff the Cannon Tower. Actually, it'd be really cool to see Cannon Tower in like in high level play again. But buffing the Arcane Tower is just weird. It was already really strong.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of strong, we have a Creep Jack coming up here against Rifle Cast. There's no real damage here on Please's side. He's trying to wait for... Okay, here are the detonates. Crazy, right? There's still so much.
Yeah. I mean, those priests are still sitting with 50 mana, and those...
Yeah.
I don't even know, how much does heal cost? It's like 8 mana or something for a heal. So those priests are still healing for a good 10-15 seconds, plus the regeneration of the Archmage. They're not going to run out of mana. With...
I think it's, 4 or 5 or something. Okay, yeah, so probably less Wisp detonates in all of the matchups. I think it's already safe to say. Sometimes you will need it, of course, especially against summons and stuff, and against buffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, using it to reduce the enemy's mana, I think we will see this less and less.
I kind of wish Please kind of put himself on the back foot, and you really can't get yourself behind in Night Elf against Human. If you end up falling behind even just a little bit in Night Elf against Human, what you're seeing happen just happens every single time. Human just takes over the map, and you can't take a fight. But that's a result of Please not creeping Warden level 3 right at the start, but it's because Please was afraid of that Human Fast Expo. I think even if the Human Fast Expos, you still creep Warden level 3. Especially with that build he did where he put the AOW next to his mine. And then you just open up options for like counter expands and whatnot. I mean, Please is a better player than I am, but I think his opening of harassing with level 2 Warden was just not the right play.
Yeah, we see this in Asia as well from like Shishi and Colorful players who didn't figure out how to play the Warden to a degree of a Foggy or a Lawlight, and that oftentimes seems like a mistake. And JohnnyCage is just very, very dominant here with, of course, like it's of course the nature of a Rifle Caster army that is super strong at tier 2 and then falls off to a degree, but oh boy, no chance for Please on this map.
Yeah, that was rough. And we did see those Wisp detonates coming into play in that fight in the middle of the shop. To be honest, even if those Wisps were detonating 50 mana, I think that was still game over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't help his case, that's for sure.
Yeah, I pretty much agree to everything you say. We haven't seen the Bears here in this matchup yet. That will probably come into play on another map, like, I don't know, Last Refuge or something. But yeah, again, a good case for the Wisp nerf is too much, and then a good case for don't harass with a level 2 Warden.
Yeah, don't harass with... It's almost like when you go Warden, it's almost like the Remo's Demon Hunter against Undead advice. Like,
yeah.
screw what the Undead is doing. Don't worry about it. Who cares? Just get your level 3 Demon Hunter, get your boots, and then you can worry about what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like when you play Warden against Human, you kind of have to have that mentality. It's forget about what the Human's doing. It doesn't matter. Just get your level 3 Warden, and then you can worry about what they're doing, and you can try to counter it. So... yeah, who knows? Well, I kind of hope we don't. Just Please doesn't play Warden a lot, does he?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what he does on this map. This map actually isn't a bad Warden map. You can get 3 pretty easily if you do that. If you do that build he did, where you do the double AOWs, you can get 3 pretty easily. There's a couple different routes to do it. But I don't know. This seems like a keeper map. I feel like we're going to see keeper out of him. But
yeah, and probably some late game this time. With Dryads and Bears, and especially Mountain Giants on Concealed
Mountain
Hill.
Giants. I have a feeling there's a good chance we're going to see some Mountain Giants.
Yeah. And then
with like tier 3 human army as well.
Exactly. And if it goes into the super late game, we might even see how good chimeras are when they're not attacking their own units.
Yeah. We'll see. I doubt we'll see chimeras. You can't make chimeras against human. I know we see it sometimes, but it's like the night elf has to be so far ahead already in order for chimeras to work. I don't know. Or sometimes you'll see like Foggy will do it and you try and like hide them and you don't bring them into the fight until you have 4 and it's just like kind of an all-in.
Yeah.
But
it's usually to end the game.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we see any chimeras this game.
Right. We got a $10 donation. Thank you, Agric. I wish that only casters are allowed to comment on the balance of the game. Every player is biased. Some are too biased. Some just can hide it better. Viking Jones, thank you very much for the 25-month resub. Yeah, should only casters be allowed to comment on balance?
I like Remo's balance suggestions a lot. I wish I think he's very fair. I think he backs up his points a lot. I think Blizzard should listen to Remo a lot. I think Remo would be a very good spokesperson for balance changes.
Yeah. If you look at these patch notes and if you look at his 10-page paper that he sent them, there's a lot of his suggestions on this PTR. Like the numbers are a little inflated in most cases, but it's definitely going into Remo's direction, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I like Remo. It's hard to balance the game for like, everyone is saying take suggestions from Thu and Infi, but the people who are saying that don't realize how much better than the rest of the world at this game they are, and it's like it's almost like they're playing a different game.
Yeah, especially Infi. But on the other side, they are both so crazy good with random.
Yeah.
So they have an opinion on everything.
Yeah, I think both of them would be good spokespeople because they're looking for a balanced game as well.
Yeah.
But, it's hard to balance a game for that like top 0.001% of players.
I think it should be the case though. I don't know. Just feels like if you're too bad to execute something, then you have to learn it to like use the full potential of your race, and then it shouldn't be balanced around players' mistakes or players not using the full potential.
Yeah. Well, we do see a keeper this game and a nice creep route. I don't think enough humans do this. This is such a strong opening, creeping the lab out. It's a little bit risky, but basically every single Night Elf and their grandma does this little green with the AOW, so it's not that risky. Yeah, I kind of wish I saw more humans do this because that in general, Concealed Hill isn't the best human mech just because the expo is very difficult to take, so it limits your options. But as I was saying earlier, human can very easily play this matchup one base. But yeah, I kind of like I like JohnnyCage's little greedy style here. One thing, I'm surprised he didn't build a shop by the lab. Building a shop by the lab is really nice for just having that vision, and not only that, having access to the reveal, and if you need the shredder, but usually you don't need a shredder. But this is a nice creep route by Please too, kind of pulling this, and because that, oh my god, Lincoln is pooping on me, because because that ogre is level 5, the entangle does the full duration, so that really nice creep route.
Apparently he doesn't like a keeper, huh? Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that does make things a lot easier. I don't know who I saw doing this first, but Please was one of the very early adopters of this creep route. And yes, of course, you take some poison damage, but it's still a lot easier than to creep the full camp head on. One of the big strengths of the keeper here.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised that he doesn't build an... Another thing I'm surprised more elves don't do is building a second AOW just to creep. Just solely to creep. Like we see people do it with Warden, but like it's one of those things where you can build an AOW like where his wisp is by that mine, right? And you walk it you use it to creep the mine, and you can walk it down to the shop, and then you can walk it to like one of the 2 reds, and that the AOW ends up kind of paying for itself because it allows you to creep those essentially risk-free. It's not risk-free, but it lowers your risk of creeping those camps dramatically.
I'm not too sure if that works on a higher level, because this Night Elf build with the tier 3 and the bear tech and the mountain giant tech is already so expensive. You also like ideally want 2 or 3 orbs of venom. You need 3 heroes.
Yeah.
It's a really expensive build.
It's definitely it's actually more the wood than it is the gold, because you end up pulling one of your wisps, so you have to make an extra wisp, or you pull one of your wood wisps, and then it's that 60 wood investment, which it's that wood that really hurts you in the early game. But it's kind of something I wish I saw more like really high level players kind of toy with. I'd like to see if it's viable. I'm sure a lot of people have already done it, but I feel like there might be a place in the meta for a creeping AOW like it.
And I mean, he does have a level 3 keeper already. Is it really necessary to get a level 4 keeper? Is it that good? I don't know. Dark Ranger second though.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you just...
So he can't detonate the priest mana, so he's just gonna silence them.
Good point, actually. Yeah, if it hits well. Also a good orb carry. I mean, yeah, she does have Black Arrow in general, but the damage isn't too bad being an agility hero.
Nice creep there by JohnnyCage playing the ogre. This is one of the reasons I don't like this map. It feels like whoever gets this ogre lord just it puts them in such an advantageous position, and the kind of gimmicky way that you creep this with the tavern is just way too easy to creep, and it's usually just the first person to do it ends up getting it because it's very hard to punish. But we do see that creep going the way of JohnnyCage. Doesn't get the best item, gets that Helm of Valor, but
it's a premiere, Lado. First time we see it with +5.
I mean, that's right.
Yeah, for the heroes here, of course, not the greatest, but at least we see it. Also the claws +5, so JohnnyCage showing us the new items here.
Yeah, I think the claws +5 was a good change.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Yeah. It's just 1 damage, but it just fits the other drops better.
Yeah, I agree.
So against this Blood Mage, how good will this Dark Ranger be?
The silence is going to be huge. Dark Ranger's great against human. I'm kind of surprised we don't... I'm not surprised we don't see it more, because you kind of need the 2... Like, if you either play like Demon Hunter Naga, you need the Demon Hunter and the Naga. Like, adding the Dark Ranger is almost like a utility hero at that point. But, yeah, Keeper Dark Ranger. I like it. I like that he's trying to be innovative here. And, yeah, we'll see how quickly those silences come off. The idea is the second that mana drain comes, we're going to see a silence. Oh, we do see Banish coming off on the Blood Mage. Does he have...
Ooh, Dark Ranger against the creeps!
Please! Holy shit! The axe was about to hit him in the head. Oh my god.
Don't curse in front of your kid, man. What a father you are. No role model. But yeah,
we're
that makes me...
We're a very liberal household.
Alright, okay. But isn't, like, I'm not too sold on this. I don't know, like, if there's no mana, how good is the Dark Ranger still? Isn't a Naga always better?
Yeah, Naga, I kind of like the Dark Ranger pick because I want to see the silence on those priests, but yeah, Naga, I don't know. I actually think Dark Ranger is good. So the thing about Naga is, like, it obviously the Cold Arrow gives you some map control right off the bat, but once you have the Dryads out, the Dryads kind of fit the same role of that Naga. And then the idea is, like, even later in the game, Forked Lightning is still really good with that AoE, but Silence is always good. Oh, but gosh, I think he used the Silence a little bit prematurely there, and now he's getting all of his mana drains. That kind of hurts.
Still Black Arrow.
Yeah, but... And Black Arrow's not bad. Those priests are adept, so they will have Dispel. But Dispel costs a lot of mana, and we know Dispel is like the wonkiest ability because it has like a weird range, and sometimes it casts and sometimes it doesn't cast. So He's not going to be able to dispel all the skeletons, but this is kind of a nice fight for Please. It's not perfect, but I think he's going tier... Oh, no. I was going to say he's going tier 3, but no, he's X-Boing behind this.
Okay,
so he's staying tier 2.
While JohnnyCage is taking to tier 3. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, JohnnyCage really didn't lose much there, to be honest.
The banishes were really cool.
Yeah. There was no change to banish, though.
Nope. Should there be?
I don't think so. I think banish is a cool skill. I think it has a niche use, and I think it's like it's used. Nice mana drain, big entangle coming out, but yeah, like Please is fighting. JohnnyCage is essentially fighting the creeps and Please at the same time, and still not losing anything.
It's good distraction for Please's expansion. 2/3, like it is a good, exactly. It is a very good position for rifle casters at the moment, even though he does transition into tier 3. But against Dryads especially, he has so much damage on the field, so the skeletons provide a lot. Turns out to be good so far, and very good is also the $20 donation by Agrig. Was watching Remo replays from 3 months ago. He was the first to suggest to remove mana cost on mirror image. Crazy, remove it. Love you guys, by the way. Please never give up. We need you in our lives. Thank you very much. That's really sweet.
Removing the mana cost. All right, so in these fights, you have to look for them to snipe down these priests. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a bit too heavy, but making them cheaper is a good call. So banish onto that entangled unit. Not the greats, but the paladin is here, and that adds so much healing to banished units. Still, good poison. Good focus fire, and JohnnyCage is, fighting into a lot here, actually.
Yeah. I was just about to say, so you can dispel the banish, and he was a little bit slow dispelling those banishes. I think he could have got at least one more unit kill there. It's almost like he forgot that he could dispel banish or something, because it took him a second, and then like all of a sudden he dispelled everything. But yeah, not a bad fight for Please with that expo. It should be up and running in about 5 seconds, but still tier 2. Another thing I was going to say is this Dark Ranger Mass Dryad strategy used to be commonplace a long time. Not commonplace, but it had a place in the meta about 10 years ago. Like Moon would do it on Echo Isles a lot, and he would go like Dark Ranger Naga, and you would AOW creep the Merc camp, get a bunch of skeletons, and you would just creep to level 3 super duper fast, and then you would go hit with those level 2 with the level 2 Dark Arrow, and turn all the militia into skeletons. And so it's something like we used to see a little bit, but it was usually Dark Ranger first and then Naga second. But this Keeper first, Dark Ranger second, I feel like Please is just kind of experimenting here. I'm not sure if he actually has experience doing this or not.
A player's forces are under attack.
We got another €10 donation by Agric. I meant reduce. He said reduce to 90 at least. You actually wrote reduce, but I am an idiot and can't read. But I get rewarded for it, so I think I can keep it.
Maybe you should misread that one too.
Exactly. Thank you, Agric.
So, are we going to see Mountain Giant? I was just going to say, are we going to see Mountain Giants? And then as I said that, I clicked the lore, and we are 50% into the first Mountain Giant.
Does he have... He doesn't have the upgrades yet. That's a little bit weird.
Yeah, you do need those upgrades, but it's one of those things, Mountain Giants aren't bad, even without the upgrades, especially when you have the fountain to heal them. I do expect... I'm kind of surprised he didn't tech at 50 food. Usually when you do this strategy, like, you'll tech at your 50 food, and then you kind of shoot up. You usually sit at that like 46 out of 50 food, and then you make 2 Mountain Giants at the same time, and you shoot up to 60 food. So this is just a little bit weird. There he goes. Now he's going to tier 3 right now. So a little bit different timing in terms of going tier 3 and like when to break that 50 food, but he has had that expo up for a decent amount of time. The question is he going to be able to hold off this ball of death with Inner Fire and triple hero that's coming his way.
And mortar teams and frag shards, and I think we're not too far away from knights either. Get more ammo upgrades. Yeah, maybe he feels he has to do something now, and like before there's this big 70 supply tier 3 army, which should be coming any second, I guess. Trying to catch reinforcements, doesn't really get it. It's a little bit of an unlucky game for Please now, I feel. But I don't think there's enough damage by JohnnyCage to knock this down.
Yeah, this is going to be... Well, we're going to see these detonates come out. Oh, and... There it is. Oh my god, look at the man on the Blood Mage. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Against level 2 Brilliance Aura, dude, he's already back to full HP. To full mana.
Oh, he missed the silence on the one priest, and that priest instantly dispelled the silence. Yeah, you really have to hit all of those priests with the silence, otherwise it doesn't really do much. But not a bad fight here. We see the Mountain Giant coming in and tanking. Now, JohnnyCage should realize the second you focus that Mountain Giant that he does not have the upgrade. Because that Mountain Giant is already taking some decent damage. But it looks like Please is going to be able to hold this with the skeletons. Let's see if he banishes the Dispel the Banish. There you go, nice.
Okay. Yeah, there's not much damage in this, and the Mountain Giant proves to be a great tank for now. And it's not going to be that hard to heal him up because he's very close to a fountain. And I think the fight's going to be over until this Mountain Giant is dropping to like dangerous HP territory. Decent micro on the Dryads. Okay, now send some back. There we go. Thank you, please.
Lincoln really likes that fight.
Lincoln is amused when Dryads die. All right.
Oh no. I'm raising him to be a human player. Yeah, and not quite tier 3. This is kind of going back to that timing. Imagine if he actually was tier 3 and had an orb on a keeper on his keeper right now.
Orb would make such a huge difference.
Yeah, it would actually give him the ability to defend us. And he's going to have access to that orb in about 5 seconds, but his hero is not at the shop. And he really needs mana on that Dark Ranger, too.
Not sure if he can hold much longer. He's also very, very short on resources, so he can't repair until the end of days. Quick reaction to the Siphon once again. This Expo is now finally falling with the added damage of the mortar teams, and that is the hard counter to Dryads. Have fun dealing with it. Yeah, frag shards are fun, aren't they, Lincoln?
Lincoln loves seeing units blow up. Lincoln, don't tell your mother I let you watch the stream.
Here are the detonates once again. Oh my god. Like, how many Whisper are there? Like 5? And the priest is still at half mana. GG, well played. Good push by JohnnyCage, 2-0.
Oh god, Lincoln is a human fan. That was
watching too many Todd streams, maybe? Yeah.
He's actually really like watching the screen, and like he like gets excited when things happen on the screen. Oh. All right, here, let me show off his onesie that he's wearing. Can you see?
What?
Hang on.
I'm a cheater? What's on there?
No. Hang on, let me go to my... Let's see what I'm showing. Here we go. So it says, achievement unlocked, new character created. One of my friends, and I actually have a matching t-shirt. It says player 2 has joined the game.
Oh, this is amazing, man.
Yeah.
Nerd Father merchandise.
Yeah.
Is a good one. That was really cool. Also really cool, we have a new sub. BizDev, thank you for the Prime sub. And Tarmok with the 100 bits. If you could get a shop item for 60 gold that dispels an area of effect, deals 225 damage to summons, and burns 50 mana from every unit in the AoE, would you not buy it? Hell yeah, you would. I can see why they nerf Wisps, as that is not even all they do. Yeah, I think everyone agrees that Wisps are really good and unique and strong, but we all kind of agree that they're a little too strong, but that the nerf is also a little too strong. So we need to find a middle ground here, I guess.
Yeah, and to people that are saying that, you have to understand that the game has been balanced or adapted or played in such a way that, you know, the people are using the Wisps. Like, it is part of the Night Elf arsenal, and it's used in every single matchup. It's used in, so it is a nerf for Night Elf across the board.
Yeah.
It's not like something that's like only sometimes used, or like, I don't like that argument that like, oh well, if you gave it to undead, it would be way too strong. Well, shit, put Skeleton Wand in our shop. Would we buy it? Oh no, that's way too strong. Okay, let's nerf Skeleton Wand then. Okay, like that's I'm sorry, but whoever said that, that's a bad argument.
Yeah. Another $10 donation by Agric. Man, you are Mr. MVP today. May I ask your opinion on a couple of things? What if the hero abilities depend on what tier you choose them? That way, if you get a Blade Master first, for example, his abilities are stronger than someone who takes Blade Master second. That way, every hero can be picked as first. That is an interesting idea that I've never heard before. But that might make a lot of heroes too strong. And not every hero needs to be playable as a first hero, I think. Heroes serve different roles, and some are very good as a first hero, for example, an Archmage or a Death Knight, and some heroes are very good as a second hero, for example, a Blood Mage or a Lich.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
It's an interesting idea. Maybe I have to think a little more about that.
A player's forces are under attack.
So
Have you guys talked about the new game studio by?
Oh man, I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, I'm
Mike
excited
Morheim back, and yeah, as you said on Reddit, I think it was, every interview sounds like so many jabs at Blizzard in every line. It's incredible.
Every single thing that he says is like Activision screwed Blizzard.
Yeah.
Like ever since it was bought out.
Yeah.
And he sold it like a while ago. He sold it, I think, in the late 90s or something. For a relatively small sum. It was like 6 million or 7 million. I forget, I read it, but Blizzard still seemed to produce like good stuff up until like 2009, 2010. Like when Hearthstone came out, like Hearthstone was like okay. Well, I actually think Overwatch is a decent game, but then like the way they're just kind of milking WoW, and with Reforged coming out and the StarCraft 2 remaster and all the issues around that, there's just, I don't know, Blizzard's just crap right now.
Yeah,
it's really frustrating to see.
I guess a lot of people are trying really hard, but we'll see about that. It's definitely competition, because they will aim for the same consumers, and maybe it sparks something in Activision Blizzard if they get competition for the same audience. It can only be good for gamers.
Competition is always good.
Another $10 donation by Agric. Second, what if instead of an Arcane Tower update, you would get to have Call to Arms at the expansion, but without actually having arms, only the armor, so that damage stays the same, but armor and speed are better. Damn, you are thinking about this a lot. So just a defend Call to Arms, I guess. That's a decent idea.
It's kind of a fun buff.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's super complicated. I agree. Someone in chat just says too complicated. It is a little bit complicated, but I kind of like it. It's not a bad idea. It's just so weird. Oh man, this is so bad for Please. Yeah, losing this level 5 creep in the item, and the Archmage is already level 3. Oh. That keeper needs the level 3, and he's not gonna get it. Oh my god.
And the inventory for JohnnyCage is so insane, by the way. Plus 10 and the Greater Mana. Interesting.
JohnnyCage. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Interesting that he didn't fast expand despite all these good items, but teched after creeping the natural.
JohnnyCage could just push the Night Elf base right now and win against the level 2 keeper. I'm kind of not sure why he didn't. He would have 5 water elementals plus these footmen. Yeah, he could have done a ton of damage. I'm surprised he didn't push into the elf base there.
Maybe he wants to give the viewers some more entertainment, showing his muscles here. So we do have a fast tier 2, or in comparison to where the Hunter Soul is, this is a pretty fast tech. It's almost done. Wonder if this Hunter Soul is too late, or if he wants to rush to tier 3 again. It's a lot of archers, so I guess it's a tier 3 rush.
It looks like... Oh, can you okay, bud? Yeah, this does look like tier 3. Oh, that's an early Nature's Blessing upgrade. That's
interesting. Yeah, I think for Treants it's always great to have if you can somehow afford it. They help you so much, and it makes them so much more tanky.
It's a very wood-heavy upgrade, and it takes a long time. So that's going to delay his tier 3 a lot, if that tier 3 strategy is what he's going for.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we're going to see the Dark Ranger again. Maybe this he has a lot of maybe he has a lot of confidence in this Dark Ranger. He just didn't execute it properly the last map.
Yeah, I think it's kind of... it really needs to be played so perfectly. Like if you don't hit a single priest, then all the silence is for nothing. And the black arrow, I don't know, it doesn't add too much damage, and you don't have crowd control either. Alchemist, okay, classic keeper play then.
Classic. And we see that Naga coming out for JohnnyCage. Is JohnnyCage going? No, he's staying tier 2. We see the first Sanctum going up, and we do see that blacksmith, but no rifles yet. And 6 footmen. Usually you see this with a 5 footman into rifle caster, but he made 1 extra footman. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, but just kind of interesting. Oh, Lincoln likes that he went for 6 footmen.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate we don't see a standard hero build here with Keeper, Naga, Podem or something. I mean, you do have 1 good orb carry, you will get a second good orb carry. Maybe we won't see a Podem because this flute is all he needs.
Yeah, I don't think we will see a Podem. We could actually see a Naga or Dark Ranger third, actually.
Yeah, true.
Wouldn't be bad. Instant TP back by Please. He wants to defend that base. And still staying tier 2. Oh, no. Nope. No, he just clicked tier 3. So JohnnyCage is going tier 3 behind this.
Cast a curse. Yeah, it seems to be his style, right? He goes 1 base tier 2. He establishes a couple of rifles, a couple of priests, and then takes to tier 3 just to be kind of safe. And with defend against archers, why not?
Yeah, you really, against these defended footmen, you're basically counting on your hero damage to clear out these footmen. Yeah, because the archers essentially don't do anything against defend.
One point that I think we haven't discussed at all is, like, I really don't think human needed any buffs against Night Elf at all. Like, we all point towards the WGL semifinals and maybe even WCG semifinals where Lawlight and Moon came up with so many crazy strategies and so much new stuff, but they were so desperate that they had to invent something like this, like the AP pushes and weird timings. And now, on the very highest level, I don't see Night Elf win a lot against human. It seems always to be the human if we reach the tier 3 stages.
Yeah, no, at tier 3 it is so difficult. The thing is, at those top levels, players are very good at not losing. So
yeah.
like they're able to keep themselves into the game, and they know the timings in terms of like when they can safely go tier 3, and when you aren't able to close out a game, like you can't win, those super late games, it's just the human army greater than your army. Remember that meme from WC replays?
Good old Tillerman.
Yeah.
It is
human
true.
Army is greater than your army.
It is true.
Well, Lincoln agrees.
Yeah, maybe it has to do with like Sundering Blades as well. Oh, nice heal scroll here, but I guess that's the keeper. Trying to reach with the Archmage, but that should be an invul. Exactly, it is. Yeah, maybe Sundering Blades is an issue in this matchup and might also be an issue versus Undead. I'm not too sure. I see Sundering Blades mentioned a lot recently. I don't know if it's just this one guy who repeats it over and over and over, or if a lot of people are talking about Sundering Blades.
So someone asked who that guy is. It's Happy. The Cat27 is Happy. Yeah, I don't know Sundering Blades, to be honest. It's still a relatively new upgrade. And I know it like changes the damage versus different armor types, but in general it just makes knights better. Which I don't think that's a bad thing, because knights honestly were not a very good unit prior to it, and now they kind of are a good unit. So
it helps against medium armor like Mountain Giant and Fiends and Raiders and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's necessary, especially when they hit a lot more soon against... we will talk about this probably in the Undead match, but if the Knights connect better to the Fiends, they will do tons of damage.
Like, what if they just gave Knights, for simplicity's sake, instead of that upgrade, just give them, like, +2 damage? Or even an upgrade, kind of like marksmanship, give them an upgrade that gives them +3 damage or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I kind of like Sundering Blades. I think it's a cool idea. But
It's working kind of in the same fashion as frag shards, just not with AoE. Oh, I shouldn't give them ideas. We'll finally see in a fire here in this matchup, as it lines up to be a relatively normal match. Without a Mountain King, though. Not a single Mountain King this game, which is a little bit of a shame. But we do get Mountain Giants with upgrades this time.
And those Mountain Giants are going to be hard to take down. The thing, when you do this Mountain Giant strategy, you really count on your heroes for the damage. So we are going to need to see an orb on that Keeper, like ASAP. I'm kind of surprised he didn't buy it already. It's like one of the most important parts of this thing. Is he's running back right now. He's like, ah, shit, I forgot the orb.
I forgot something, yeah. He also needs to rebuild a lot of Moonwells, and he's not doing that. I wonder why, because he's still supply stuck. He needs 3 more Moonwells to get in fighting shape. I don't know.
And
so JohnnyCage,
human army is starting to get scary. He is tier 3. He's adding two knights to his army. That paladin level 2.5. See Naga almost level 3. It's getting to that point that like you just can't take a fight. It's
also.
What do you think? But yeah, we're gonna see some detonates, and we're gonna see not very much mana drained in this next fight, almost guaranteed.
Yeah, we don't have any wisps here, but yeah, sources are coming in as well. It's actually not that many casters here. We have 2 potions of greater mana. Not gonna be easy. Knights are ready with their Sundering Blades. We do have a little bit of a base trade, which I'm never too sure if you want to do that versus Mountain Giants, but apparently it was the TP.
Yeah.
We do have
JohnnyCage very smartly went straight for the main there. It puts Please on a timer. And the way that JohnnyCage's base is set up is he would have lost that. He would have lost that base race because as those wisps come in to repair that tree, he's able to kill those wisps. But it's very difficult to kill those peasants that are the castle.
Ooh, invisible knights. Sweet, really what is this? Fork lightning on the wisps.
Yeah.
And he does that, he detonates before there's inner fire, really. 1 detonate hits the casters, but it's not really what you want. Okay, he's flanking the archers. Really cool idea by JohnnyCage. Haven't seen that before. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the last fight here. There's just no damage coming out from the side of the Night Elf. And those knights just destroyed all of the archers. Look at how much damage it does. It kills an archer in 4 hits. Oh my God.
Sundering Blades, about that upgrade, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, there's not much left from Please. To be honest, also not the best games I've seen from Please in the past couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, late game human. It's also a weird build by Please. Like no bears at all, no reju, no roar. Transition timings all a bit weird. I think we shouldn't take these matches as an example for this patch.
No, and we didn't even see a ton of wisp detonates. It kind of felt like JohnnyCage just outplayed him that whole series.
Yeah.
Not even just that map. JohnnyCage just outplayed him. Like I think Please is able to play a lot better than what he did. He made a few key mistakes on all of the maps that ended up, JohnnyCage just capitalized on it and was able to get those wins. But the wisp detonate definitely didn't help him. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, we also didn't see the arcane tower damage here. There was no expansion. This was very atypical games. But yeah, 3-0 for JohnnyCage. Pretty impressive overall. Too bad he's not playing Dreamhack. Would love to see that.
Yeah.
Third caster is cuter than Remo.
It's true. Remo's a pretty good looking guy, but it's hard to compete with Lincoln.
Even though there's no man bun. I gotta agree. Alright, our next game is Undead versus Human. Do you want to stay or do you guys have to go?
I can hang out. I have to feed him actually. I'm heating up a bottle for him, but I can feed him and cast at the same time.
Yeah, or you mute yourself for 5 minutes or something. We have a break now anyway. So we're gonna be back in 5 minutes.